Welcome to Building Strong Relationships. This week, you'll learn about the building blocks of relationships. We'll go through some examples you can take daily to boost your relationships. We'll spend some time reflecting on some of the relationships that are important to you and maybe how to improve some with a simple tool, and then develop an action plan to take your relationships to the next level. So, this is your last step in your EQ journey. We've already gone through how you build a foundation through self awareness and self management and empathy. So, now you can focus on building relationships. Studies shown people who have great relationships with others are successful in work and in life. And, remember, people who work with you are bosses, peers, customers, anyone you interact with during the day. So, if we look at this tree, EQ is the foundation, is that the root of everything, our interactions with people. So now we'll focus on these 4 essential keys to building those strong relationships. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, but the first one is empathy. Now, we've talked about it a little bit, but empathy is your ability and willingness to tune into emotional makeup of someone else. Strong relationships require that you appreciate not only the person, but their situation, what motivates them and their goals. It's also important to try to walk in their shoes so you understand and accept their feelings. Next is respect. As Aretha Franklin says, you just got to give a little bit. This is a way to acknowledge people and find some common ground. You don't need to agree with the person, but you can treat them with respect and provide that validation of their viewpoint. Next is trust and candor. A strong relationship is built on trust. This is something you need to demonstrate over time and really earn. Part of that process is you being open and being candid with the person. Candor is honest and respectful. You demonstrate trust and candor through how you treat people, and you follow through on your commitments. And finally, positive intent. So this is looking at a person or situation with the belief that they are well-meaning. Many times our initial reaction to something that we may not agree with is to assume there is some malice or negative intent. If you look at a situation and assume first that there's a positive intent behind it, you'll be more open to acknowledge and understand that person and their situation. So now let's kind of go through just a few things. We call them power boosters that you can use every day that will help build relationships and show that you really want to understand this person. So the first one we want to talk about is empathy. So first, try to be in their skin. Where are they coming from? What is their situation? That helps drive their viewpoint. Actively listen. So put down that cell phone. Don't look at your email. Listen to what that person is saying. Look them in their eye and don't interrupt them. Let them finish what they're talking in their statement. Third, seek understanding of perspectives and motivations. So what is it that is driving someone to think a certain way or act a certain way? Maybe something happened this morning that, made their temperature, emotional temperature go up. Try to understand where they're coming from before you react and maybe think about that. And feel and don't judge. Sometimes go with what is it, that emotional thing that may be driving somebody or maybe creating a situation. And just don't judge them. Just think about it for a little bit and feel. And finally, be willing to help them. Sometimes just saying, hey, what can I do for you? Do you need a little break? Acknowledge that you care about where they're coming from and maybe something you can do. So now let's look at respect and how we can show that daily. One is appreciate others' strengths. Everybody brings something to the table, and really being able to appreciate what somebody brings to the table is important. And let them know that. So acknowledge others' achievements. Somebody does something well, especially in a group, acknowledge that. That public recognition goes a long way. But then also, acknowledge hardships. If somebody is having some difficult personal things going on, acknowledge that, maybe not in a group, but, let them know that you understand what's going on. Ask what others are thinking about. Especially in large meetings, some people may not like to speak up. But if you ask them, what do you think? You're showing that you value their opinion, and you want to hear from them. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Sometimes, especially in the business situation, it's important to be tough and strong, but sometimes to show your emotional side, your humanity, it can go a long way. Let's look at trust and candor. So important. Do what you say and say what you do. So following through on your commitments and being able to be counted on is very important to building that trusting relationship. Find out and work for solutions that are a win-win. Where's that common ground that people can come together and everyone feel like they're getting something that they want? Keep promises and confidences. If somebody says something to you in confidence, don't let it go any further. Building that trust that you are somebody who will respect and honor what somebody is saying to you, extremely important. And step up for those difficult conversations. This is where candor can come in and be honest with somebody, but it's sometimes difficult to have. So being able to have that really is an important trait. And then have those conversations that are going on in your head. If you really think somebody deserves some feedback and honest and candor, let them know that. And you certainly can do that in a way that is well-meaning and open and really is looking for the best intentions to help a person. And finally, we'll go into positive intent. This is, always striving to provide valuable help, right? How can you help that person improve? It really is always going with the right intent behind it. See the possibility in others. Everybody brings something to the table, as we talked about their strengths. Recognize and try to find that in individuals. Basically, assume positive intent. What is it that that person is bringing and really wants to bring to the table, and assume that they're bringing it with all the right intentions. And then let go of your stories. So, you might have had a situation before with somebody, let it go. Let's move on to the future. You can't change the past. How do you make everything go so that everybody is working together on the same thing? And then, but also call people out when actions and words don't match. So, what is it, if somebody says they're going to do something and they don't, how do you bring that up? But again, in the right, with positive intent, showing that you mean well by doing that. So now let's keep going. This week, we're going to focus on your key relationships and identifying the most impactful actions you can take to make them stronger. So keep going up and never stop. Good luck this week, and we will talk to you soon.